Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Robert Dagg and I will be your MC for today's webinar. I wanted to thank you for attending today's session, Beyond the Four Walls, Making Library Resources Accessible in 2020 and Beyond. This is the second webinar in our series over the next 2 weeks to support school libraries during this disruptive school year. Today we have a really engaging session planned for you, but before we begin, I have a few housekeeping items to review with you to ensure a smooth session. First, the session is now being recorded. A link to the recording will be available in a few days' time after the webinar, and I will be sharing this via email. Second, all attendees' lines are now muted to avoid any sound feedback or interruptions. If you have any technical difficulties during the webinar, please use the chat box to communicate with me, and I will try and resolve this as soon as possible. Third, please use the chat box during this presentation for any questions that you have. Now, without further ado, I would like to introduce today's guest. Today we have Cameron Thomas, who is a part of the EBSCO Solution Architect team and works with schools, public libraries, academic institutes to provide technical solutions for libraries big and small. This includes discovery, authentication, and customized solutions. Over to you, Cam.
Thanks, Rob. And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, I'm Cameron Thomas and I'm the Solutions Architect. And today I'll be talking to you about how to make your library resources more discoverable for your teachers and student members. So why do we want to make your library resources more accessible? Making your library resources accessible will increase your overall usage, which in return helps your cost per user and competes with vendors such as Google, Wiki, and YouTube. As you know, students have a default. They default if they can't find the right information or if they can't find any information, will go to that search bar in Google, Wiki, and YouTube. And of course, also making your resources more accessible prepares your students for the future of how to search for the right information in a professional manner. So how does it work? This slide provides some tools to make your library resources discoverable. The first, discovery. Making your library home a point where teachers and students can easily discover all your library's resources and content, whether it be via website or LMS. Basically, your resources are readily available with a single search box. Authentication. Whether you're at school, at home. A big one this year that due to the pandemic, is home-based learning. So accessing the library's content with a single sign-on outside the school's premises will support the students' learning. And of course, user experience. Customizing your interface to be user-friendly is a great way to get usage, and also gets beginner students to understand how to search for the right content, even if it is pictures, videos, or your ebook content. And also making your library website user-friendly to tablets and iPhones also helps discover and enhance students' search. So the next slide I'll be showing is an example of how a library has made their resources accessible with one search bar. So as you can see, first impressions are everything, aren't they? This is a great example of a user experience. As you can see, it's easily access the library's content with one search bar. So it's using that default that students know how to use. So it's quite big, and they know they can, whatever they type in, they'll return a result. So the next slide is a great example of a library that just needs some TLC, basically. They have the information there, but the question I like to ask is, if a basic student who knows how to access library, but doesn't know how to search or have that advanced search, where do they find or where do they start to discover your resources? So here's a great example. The information is there, it's just how do they start to find or search? So how does this single search box work? At EBSCO, what we do is we grab your physical content, your subscribed electronic content, which is your databases you've purchased from vendors, and of course your open access content to power your discovery layer, which in return powers the search box. So think of this search box as your Google for your library. And of course, for EBSCO, we also use an algorithm to further enhance that search, which includes the full text, subject indexing, customization, and the interoperability with your integration with your library systems. The big thing as well, the value of that discoverability. It provides access evenly over all content, so there's no prioritization over vendors. Our system helps provide all that information and shows off the entire collection to the students, including your open access content. Now, the next slide I want to show is a great example of the functionality with tablet, iPhone, and Android. As I said before, the library that I was using as an example just needs some TLC. They have all the information. It's just now to make it user-friendly on the website to a tablet and iPhone. Example of functionality of a tablet and iPhone is you can see the search boxes in the top area. You can still see the filters and also the results. And of course, the full functionality across different screen sizes and devices. So bringing the library to the students helps them get the accessibility they need, whether it's integrated into your LMS or your library area, and it's customized to the student's needs, whether they are a basic searcher to the advanced search. And of course, access. And what I mean by access is when a student goes off-site or is doing home-based learning, accessing all your resources with a single user and password instead of using many usernames and passwords, as you know, can be very hard on students or even teachers. So using that one key to access all your resources is a great way. And of course, for librarians, statistics and reporting, it gives you an idea of what students have been accessing or your teachers have been accessing and helps you provide a better way to see what vendors you do or don't need. So the next slides are great examples of integration, i.e. Google Classroom. Say, for example, a teacher has found some information that they want to actually show their students. As you can see on the top right-hand corner, EDS loves to integrate with Google Classroom. All it is a simple click. What we also see a lot of unis do is they also embed lists and permalinks that produce statistics for the library within the library management system, as an example here. And of course, having that library search box everywhere, whether it be in your learning library management system or somewhere where your teachers may need those resources. So the next slide is an example of a library that has used these tools that have helped enhance their accessibility, their resources. As you can see, they've separated their content into different views for user-friendly for all ages. You can see the search boxes in the top left-hand corner. When that student types in health, they could see there's a variety of books, ebooks, images, and on the top right-hand corner, they can elaborate even more, whether it be audio books or digital library. An example is at a university level, they have different views for basic users and advanced users, as I said before, whether it be undergrads or more experienced. The great part is we can do this with schools as well. We can offer advanced years with complex options or simple options. Another example is the different views. And we at EBSCO are constantly trying to push those boundaries of discovery. And a part of that is a new tool, Discover, which should be released this year, which is a visual search tool powered by a search algorithm directly linked to full text. So it's just further enhancing the student's search. So thank you very much for your time, and hopefully this helped a lot. And hopefully this gave you some tools and some ideas to help with your goals as a librarian. And what I'll do is I'll pass it on to Rob, but if there's any questions, please let us know in the tab and we're happy to answer.
Excellent. Thank you, Cameron. If anyone has any questions for Cameron as we speak, please place them into our Q&A tab. We have had one question come through, Cam. Does it integrate with Teams?
Interesting. I'd have to have a look. I'm pretty sure. If you want, I can get back to you. Is it okay if I have your email and I can send you some more information of the integration?
Okay, no problem. We'll follow that one up to the side. Excellent. We've just got a couple of direct messages coming through saying thank you. Okay, excellent. Well, we're going to leave it there. We are, as these series are designed to be a micro series. Yep, excellent. Thank you for that. Sorry, I just got the email through for you, Cam, so we can follow up that directly. Now, I'd like to
thank you so much.
I'd like to thank everyone for your questions and your feedback and your comments. And thank you for taking your time out today to attend this webinar. I hope you found this session informative and engaging, and a big thank you to Cam for the insightful discussion. As mentioned earlier, this is the second of the 4-part series. Next Tuesday, we will be discussing Novelist and Reader's Advisory Online. So without further ado, thank you to everyone, and we'll hopefully see you all again soon. Have a great day.